Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Twin Ring Motegi. Race 10 of the ABN AdminBoxx Cup Series with 3 races to go until the chase for the Cup begins. I'm Carmen alongside me, Kevin Young, to present tonight's action here from Japan. Very unique track. It's going to be some very unique vibes. A smaller field tonight means that some drivers are going to be taking advantage of this opportunity to make some inroads on their chase ambitions. Kevin, it's a very unique track, very unique feel. What the drivers looking at tonight?
Well, from what I'm hearing down the pipeline here, it is a unique track. I think that's been already said a couple times, but I'll say add to the pile here and confirm that it is a unique track. But it's also a bit of a fun track. You're going to see drivers try to kind of drift up and down. It's got that weird vibe to it. You do want to kind of hold the low line of a corner and drift kind of up through the middle, but some drivers can try to take that half middle groove to really try to get that car rotated, hit the apex they need. So it's a bit challenging, a bit unique, but a lot of these drivers are quite enjoying their time here so far. And like you said, with a little bit of a smaller field, this is going to allow some drivers the opportunity that may be a little bit farther back right now, like Lilac Zaire, for instance, currently 13th in points she is. Only 71 points away from the cut line, could easily hop into the top 12 with a shorter field here tonight.
Action already ongoing. That's Emily Howe. It's spun out of pit lane, it looks like. Getting hit by Callie Height. You have Josh Gaiman and John Hagen. Right now we're in practice. The last 3 minutes or so of practice. I mentioned Lilac Zaire sitting currently 4th fastest at the moment. Race like tonight, very much useful for someone outside the current playoff cut line.
And it's very close between 7th and 12th, separating by a little under 100 points. And it should be worth noting, 9th in the points is here tonight, 10th, 11th, and 12th, and 13th. So a lot of those drivers on the bubble are currently present to ensure that they, at the very least, stay on the bubble.
Yeah, they're going to be making some inroads. And for those that aren't familiar with the point system in the regular season, there are 12 points paying races. Drivers all keep their best 10. So drivers can drop a race by either not showing up or by just dropping their worst result. But that is going to make it very interesting going into the night, because this will shuffle the points positions up. Obviously, Lilac Zaire almost guarantee the top 10 at this point. There's 12 drivers in this event. Lilac Zaire getting a top 10 would definitely help out the situation for her case. 185 points are scored to the race winner. So there's a huge point swing incoming tonight with how things currently look. The matter is just the matter of how much of a point swing are we going to see, obviously, at the very edge of the chase for the championship cut line.
And like we were kind of hinting to, the worst 2 rounds being dropped for each driver in question. A good finish here, a top 10 finish, would in turn maybe take a poorer finish for one of these drivers on the bubble, and in turn maybe throw that into the relegation zone, or the zone that the points will be forgotten on that, if they still obviously have a round they obviously still have not missed yet, as a few drivers are spinning on the front stretch. But so it's really up to the drivers in the kind of regard. If you're very consistent and you show up every week, this is a good chance to get a good number in that points total, and in turn maybe bump a worse result and kind of scrub it clean. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how it happens. But looking at least at the practice times at the moment, not much is really different from what we see week in and week out with Emily Howe topping the charts. But at the very least, we are seeing some faces bringing the challenge to her, including Josh Gaiman and John Hagen.
Yeah, nothing unsimilar to what we've seen before with these 3 near the top of the field. We do have a new face, though. Philip Snipes, currently sitting in 4th, and now just took over 4th place from Zaire, debuting tonight. Tennessee Volunteers livery that he's been teasing over the past couple days. Glad to see him on board tonight, and he's going to have a guaranteed decent finish tonight with how things run to kick off his ABN career. The debutante, driving the number 98, here tonight. See, there's Callie Height, and actually both Queensland cars right there in front and behind him. Callie Height in front, Ruby Acosta behind.
Should be also worth noting, I bet you right now that Philip Snipes is probably happy football season's coming up around the corner with that Tennessee Volts scheme on the car. As practice has just wrapped up here, and we're going to get ready for qualifying here as Callie Height takes a little spin there just to finish it out. And we're going to get ready for qualifying. Best 2 laps. We'll see what these drivers can do.
Alrighty. Qualifying getting set to begin here at the Twin Ring Motegi Speedway. Everyone's got 10 minutes on the clock to get fired up and ready to go. First car on track will be that of our 2022 Open Wheel World Champion, Christina Ryan. What can she do in the number 80 for Stepping Stone Motorsports? She'll be one of the first ones on track. Emily Howell on track as well as Josh Gateman and John Hagan.
Yeah, so top 3 in the practice sessions and Christina Ryan. No offense, Christina, fast driver, but she was in that top 5 range, so she's got some speed as well. So a lot of heavy hitters coming out here to start qualifying. Gonna set the benchmark high for the rest of the field.
Christina Ryan looking to become a 2-time world champion, Open Wheel World Champion from last season. The top of all of ABN's disciplines, from sports cars, open wheel, and stock cars, award the World Championship, this being the World Championship Series for stock car racing in ABN. Christina Ryan trying to become the first driver to win the World Championship in 2 different disciplines here. She's firmly in the chase as it currently runs. Obviously tonight we begin really kind of worry about the mathematics of the situation. But entering tonight's event, Christina Ryan, second in points to just Emily Howe. So obviously she's had a very phenomenal season so far over these first 9 races, obviously tonight being race 10. First lap in the books for Christina Ryan. It is a 36.5 for the Stepping Stone driver. Howe goes quicker with 36.35. Gaming goes a little bit faster as well, 36.42 as times begin to come in.
Yep, John Hagan goes a bit slower than Christina Ryan there with a 37.79, so a lot on the table for the 52 for their second lap. But Christina Ryan going to come here across the start-finish line here as she comes off of 4, trying to get as much as she can, loose as fast, they would say. Where we'll see that number 80 Penzel machine. Where will it slot?
Not fast enough.
It will stay P3.
Yeah, lost almost a tenth there. Philip Snipes goes 4th fastest on his run. We'll look here at Callie Height, see what her run looks like. Her best finish is 6th place. She's almost certain to have a chance to beat that tonight.
Hagan in the top half for this field. We'll definitely confirm that. But yeah, Hagan jumps up a spot there to P4. Or stays P4, I should say.
Yeah, he jumped to P4, got his Snipes there. Acosta went 7th fastest. Height starting her run now. This is her first lap. And then Zach McBride in the number 47. Getting ready to set a lap time. Edwards George, Blake Henderson, Ryan Pinnell, and Nick Pressey still waiting to set their times. As we'll end up with 13 cars tonight.
Yep, Nicholas Pressey just spawned on the pit lane, so he will be heading out relatively shortly here. Finished seeing the end of lap number 1 here for the 6.6 Callie Height. Both her and Zach McBride will cross the line respectively at the same times here, so keep an eye on that pylon. They were both drivers slot on lap number 1. It's going to be P8 for Callie, and Zach McBride did not complete the first lap. It was invalidated. So lap 2 for both drivers are looking to have a better second lap here.
Nick Pressey getting on the board here in just a moment. We'll see what his run looks like here as Callie Height goes through 3 and 4.
Line for the 66. It is not. If it wasn't it was not an improvement. It was a slower lap. Zach McBride slots P9. So McBride jumps up to 9th. Callie Height stays in P8. Now all eyes on the number 94 machine. He's usually good at qualifying these cars up towards the front. And we saw at Bristol, he has very good short track pace. And this being a little bit of a shorter track, obviously not the shortest thing we're going to see. Richmond's a little bit shorter, but as we'll see in a couple weeks, but can really show on these short tracks. We'll see what the 94 can do here on lap number 1. If he wants to get on the front row, he's going to have to break 36.42. If he wants to get pole, he'll have to beat a 36.35. coming off the line for lap number 1, and it's going to be P8 at the moment for the 94 machine. We'll see as he comes down straight to second lap. Has not really been the improved lap. We've seen a few drivers improve on their second run, but we can all see it's like about a 50-50 split, maybe 60-40, not improving on the second lap here. So we'll see how this 94 can do on lap number 2. Can he buck the trend and be an improvement? He's going to have to if he wants to start higher up the field across the line, and he will improve, but he will stay P8. Jonathan Adams just started a lap here. Especially goes for a spin. We'll cut to Jonathan Adams. Cup Series rookie. Saw him last week at Talladega. Survived the chaos. Was able to get close to the end. Now here a little bit less of a little more of a calming field, you should say, than the high banks of Talladega in the quiet Tochigi prefecture here in Japan. We'll see how this National Guard machine can do here on lap number 1.
One thing I'll point out here while we have 4 minutes left in qualifying tonight is ABN's 150th event in-house as drivers continue to flood in here. Irish George, Blake Henderson, Ryan Pinnell, Austin Mongold, and Toby Estes all on their way in here. So the field blossoming in just in the nick of time. But this is ABN's 150th in-house event tonight. So a lot of stats will kind of be coming out over our social medias over the next day or so. Obviously, we have an off day tomorrow night. Champ Car is off for the week. So you'll see a lot of social media stuff as far as, you know, top 10 drivers in starts, top 5s, top 10s, wins, poles, miles. You'll see a lot of different analytic stuff coming out tomorrow. Emily Howe, if things currently stand, Emily Howe would become tied with 9th all-time in ABN so far with pole position. She'll be draw 11 with Lilac Zier with 6 poles. And Emily Howe's got less than 12 starts in her career. Wow. So, interesting just how quickly she's risen up in the ladder here. It shouldn't be a surprise to many people that know Emily Howe with how good she is, but just a testament to how quickly her and some other drivers have risen up in the ranks to be already on that top 10 list come tomorrow night. She's already in the top 10. She sits kind of on her own in 10th with 5 poles, but tonight, as things currently run, she would end up with tied for 9th with 6 poles tonight. And she's already in the top 10 in race wins. She's already currently got 6 race wins to her name here in ABN. That puts her tied for 7th so far, with a chance to jump up to as high as 4th tonight.
As a stat nerd that also is a baseball nerd, hearing these stats is always quite a treat, and it's always quite interesting to see where certain drivers slot in on mileage, wins, what have you, and kind of poking out the numbers and the percentages to see who I would say is the best driver in ABN. That's obviously subjective, but who is the consistent into the consistency, I should say, of who is one of the stronger drivers, or at least a good kind of haggle of what we see.
Yeah, it's very interesting seeing like all the stats, having compiled some of that, obviously starting Sunday, kind of going through, seeing how much changes. Tonight being 150th race, we'll have our 200th race in December. So things are coming quickly here in ABN. That is 50 races in less than 4 months.
And remember, the 100th in-house event was the Daytona Shootout for the AdminBoxx Cup Series. So should be worth noting in that realm of time, we're not even around halfway through the season so far. Obviously with 2 weeks on, 1 week off, it kind of makes the season feel shorter than it is. But it's worth noting in that element. It's just kind of interesting to note the 100th anniversary, 100th in-house event was the start of the AdminBoxx Cup Series, the new beginning, if you say, and now it's 150, and we're still in the AdminBoxx Cup Series. Now, obviously, the 200 won't be the AdminBoxx Cup Series because if it's in December, the AdminBoxx Cup Series will be finished. But there's some other events in December that could easily take that mantle, depending on how the calendar falls. Looking at the quick timing board as we were going on a little bit of a tangent there, Austin McGold slots in for P11. Blake Henderson going to finish his first run here. He and that 29 have struggled a little bit on the warm out lap here to try to get the car planted. 11 so far for that 25 machine. And with only about 18 seconds left, he may not finish this second run. But one other driver that can put that timer is Toby Estes. Early on the backstretch right now. We'll see if he can get a time before the pendulum door slams shut. But looking at the clock, he will probably not, and will have to slot in P14. As that car also looks very, very scarred. So the end of the day, Emily Howe takes pole position. Josh Gaiman will join her on the front row as we are now ready for warm-ups. And
Drivers meeting.
Yep.
Alrighty, we are back here at Motegi. Drivers' meeting concluded there. Pretty easy stuff here tonight. It is not a difficult track here in Japan. Very historical track here in the nation. One of the first major facilities to include an oval outside of the United States, alongside that of Lausitzring, Rockingham over in the UK, and the Sakisa Freeway in South Africa. So some very interesting history there, very interesting tracks that was grouped together with this 21 Motegi circuit. 1.5 in change miles, a little longer than 1.5 miles that we see at Kansas and Kentucky and so on. So it gives it an odd character there. Very lopsided. We'll pull up the track map one more time so you can kind of get an understanding for how this track shapes. It's almost similar to Darlington in terms of how lopsided this track feels, with 3 and 4 being a lot tighter, a little bit more banked compared to 1 and 2, which is wider and flatter. So a lot of compromise needed, a lot of adjustment needed in the lap, obviously coming both on the front straightaway and down the back straightaway as you get ready for both sides of the track here tonight. Again, a little over 1.5 miles, 130 laps tonight is the scheduled race distance, 201 miles, technically the official mileage to this race. And as you can see there, 68 degrees, the air temp, 117 degrees, the track temp here. A little bit humid, but next to no wind, despite the higher altitude of this track. It's going to be a very interesting one to watch tonight, as we have 16 cars present for tonight's event. We'll talk about the driver. We'll talk about the starting lineup here in just a moment. Obviously, once we get ready to get into the formation laps here this evening. But a very, again, unique track. It's not a track we go to very often. We're going to twice this year, both here in the AdminBoxx Cup Series and in the Champ Car World Series later on this season over there. It will not be on the Season 2 calendar. We'll be seeing the Season 2 calendar released at the beginning of the chase for the Cup here in 3 weeks. So we'll have that looking forward to us, as well as announcements regarding future stock car plans here in ABN on Wednesday nights. So some news and information still coming up here very quickly here within the month of August.
I will say it's kind of a shame, but obviously it makes sense with the calendar being not on the calendar for Season 2, partially just because, again, track may not be in certain people's wheelhouse. Obviously, with a lot of these drivers being stock car aficionados, maybe they have not bought Twin Motegi for any reason. So it's kind of a shame, but hopefully it brings kind of a nice enjoyment here, because it is a fun track. I personally like driving on it myself, and it always provides some interesting racing, to say the least. So yeah, hopefully it puts on a good show that the audience can enjoy. But one of the little trivia of note I should at least bring up here is that in regard, in 1998, when the only time NASCAR came here for the exhibition race for the Coca-Cola 500, the race was won by Mike Skinner, who, should be worth noting, never won an actual official points race in the Cup Series, being his only win in the Cup Series, and it was only an exhibition race. So maybe the fortunes we'll see here at the next 1 minute 28 and change, it may favor someone that may have not got a win yet this season, or someone that may be on the precipice of trying to get a win. So I have to keep an eye on those narratives as the start of the race dooms closer.
Anyhow, currently fastest. We're looking at Philip Snipes here, just joined the top of the board, the top half of the board, I should say, 6th place for him. Anyhow, fastest over Josh Gaiman, Lilac Sear, and Ruby Acosta. Top 4 here in practice. Hagen, Henderson, McBride, and Pinnell yet to start a lap here. So, a minute left here in warm-up. Very interesting to see how tonight's going to go. For everyone tuning in and spending your Wednesday evening with us here on ABN, we welcome you to race 10 of the ABN AdminBoxx Cup Series. We're in the halfway stretch now as we approach the chase for the Cup here. Next week, the series is an off week, and then it's Watkins Glen and Richmond to end out the regular season in 2 and 3 weeks' time, respectively. So that's going to be a lot of fun to keep an eye on here especially with the last road course race of the season and then a short oval to end off the season, obviously there in Richmond, Virginia. 12 car set lap times as practice concludes here. Last minute warm-up is done, and it's time to get ready for the main event. Gonna be a lot of fun here tonight.
Yes, it will be.
So now everyone beginning for the formation laps. And here's what the starting grid is going to look like here tonight. Emily Howe, front of the field, her 6th career pole in ABN. All of them have come in the ABN AdminBoxx Cup Series. Josh Gaiman, 2nd place alongside her. Doing really well right now for himself in the point situation. Trying to get back into that top 12. Currently sitting in 12th place. But 22 points is not a large buffer for him. Lilac Zier, the person that's chasing him down in that playoff cut line, sits in 3rd place on the grid alongside Christina Ryan. Row 3, it's John Hagan and Philip Snipes. They will be sharing the 3rd row, pair of rookies there, the highest qualifying rookies. Ruby Acosta sits alongside Nicholas Pressey in row number 4, ahead of Jonathan Adams and Callie Height. Blake Henderson, Austin Mongold sit in row number 6. Row number 7 is Zach McBride and Ryan Pinnell. And then Elris George and Toby Estes, last-minute joiners through qualifying, did not set a time. They will start at the back of the field. So, again, 16 cars for tonight's event. It'll be led by Emily Howe and Josh Gaiman. Gaiman taking it to Howe pace-wise through practice and qualifying. How will they sit here in the race? John Hagan, not in the top 5 in qualifying here tonight. It's going to be very interesting to see how he plays through tonight's race. Typically, he's up there in a factor in at least the podium finishers this evening. He's got a little bit of work to do starting in 5th place tonight. 2 laps of formation here as we get ready to go. Again, if you're interested in, you like what you're seeing and you love the style of racing, there's a lot of it coming up here as we continue to go forward and onward here. Again, next week we're off. As far as this series is concerned, we'll still be broadcasting. The HTL Preseason Thunder is next Wednesday at Daytona. HTL Cup Series begins next week with the charity race for the Junior Diabetes Research Foundation at New Smyrna on August 14th. That'll start 8 p.m. when we go live there. Next Wednesday, the 16th, we'll be live at Daytona for HTL preseason testing. And obviously Mondays going on from there will be very, very busy, very action-packed as we get ready for action there in HTL. Tomorrow night, again, we're off tomorrow night. It's a Rare Thursday off week before Champ Car comes back with another 3-week stretch. Friday, the Twiggy iRacing Series heads to Chicagoland. The ARC's Saturday Night Showdown Series goes to the Charlotte Roval. And the ARC's Ace for Cup Series, me and Kevin will be there on Sunday evening from the Indianapolis Road Course. A lot of stuff coming up here very thick and fast. We'll be active just about every day of the week, beginning technically yesterday with the sports car race at Monza. So, if you're interested in anything from sports cars, open wheel, stock cars, feel free to follow or subscribe to us here on ABN, either on Twitch or on our YouTube channel. And follow us on social media, esports_on_ABN on what was Twitter. But as the pace car gets ready to pull into pit lane, 16 cars here to take the start of this race. The ABN Motegi 200, race 10 of the ABN AdminBoxx Cup Series. It's Howe and Gaiman leading the way. Green flag is in the air. And we are racing as there is trouble already behind. That was Austin Mongold with issues.
Yeah, it looks like he's got it okay here. Stay green. Major effects there. Emily Howe going to lead off in the 1 with Christina Ryan able to get the jump on Joshua Gaiman. And she will be in P2. We got to move there for P4. And Lilac Zaire going to take the opportunity to challenge along with Hagan in tow to make a move on the debutant of Philip Snipes.
Oh, Zier's struggling here. Already lost 2 spots so far in this race without run so far. Philip Snipes trying to make some early inroads there. Zier doing what she can to try to hold on to that You see Hagen, a little bit of a new look for him in the National Guard, number 52. Moving to the inside lane behind Zier, trying to get around Philip Snipes. Pair of rookies behind. The veteran experience of Zier. Zier started almost 75 events. I believe she's at 73 tonight. So she's done a lot of races here in ABN. But right now it's rookies all around her. There's Callie Height, the 66, and Ruby Acosta in the 40. Trying to make some inroads as the top three begin to waltz away from this midfield battle that's already begun. We are now on lap number 3.
Yep. If laps tick by quick, obviously laps tick by quick here, so if no cautions do come out, we could be in and out in a quick jiffy. As we do see a little bit of a battle there, a little bit further back with Nicholas Presley and Philip Snipes, as they're fighting. And also the two teammates there, Ruby Acosta and Callie Height, also fighting as well. So the midfield battle is very thick and fast right now. Top 5 all kind of spaced out here, but top 3 though kind of close, but not close enough to attack just yet, as you can just see in the foreground with Joshua Gaiman and Christina Ryan for 3rd and 2nd respectively.
We got his 1st, 2nd, and 3rd here so far, with Hal leading Ryan and Gaiman. It's Prismatic leading 2 stepping stone cars. Then you have the Jacob Shingle racing machine of John Hagen up to 4th place. We wondered how quickly it would take for him to get up to the top 5. The answer was 3 laps. He's gone ahead of Zier and is now working on Ruby Acosta. Or working on Josh Gaiman, with Ruby Acosta sitting in 6th behind Zier.
Yep. John Hagen trying to be the spoiler, because right now they got the top 3, even though technically this is Honda country. It's still a Japanese manufacturer up at the front right now, and the lone American in the top 4, well, American manufacturer, I should say, in the top 4, trying to spoil the party a bit. We'll cut a little bit back here. Got a battle with Nicholas Presley and Callie Height. We're watching right now for P7. Looks like Nicholas Presley's got the line at the moment, and he will successfully get around the 66, though. Going to try to take the long way around here for 3 and 4 and see if she maybe can get the run here. She's got a somewhat preferred line, but the problem is with Presley right there, she's not going to get the toe off she needs in the corner, and it's going to open doors. It really starts to plow there, and it's going to allow Snipes to have a chance here on the inside to gain 1 more spot. Racing hard for the lead here as well. Christina Ryan's got a fender in there on Howe. She's kind of close there. Looks like she lost a bit of momentum in the corner, but she is not going to take that lead away.
She got a really good run here coming out of turn 2. She's going to probably send it here a little bit. There's a huge send going through 3 and 4. Now Christina Ryan loves this track, very familiar with this track from her Gran Turismo days, starting all the way back in the early 2010s. Gran Turismo 5, Gran Turismo 6.
Oh, good clear.
Christina Ryan leads her first lap of Motegi. Phenomenal job for her, getting around the E83 of Emily Howe. Lap 7 underway now, here of 130.
You may say it's a bit early, but with how strong Emily Howe is, you don't want to take chance and all right, I'll wait a couple laps and see when an opportunity comes. If you have the opportunity to make a move, you got to just strike while the kettle is hot, because you don't want to let Emily Howe get in her comfort zone and start kind of rocking you, and next thing you know, you'll never get around. So Christina Ryan kind of smart there in the foreground to take the lead when she can, but obviously the track does eat a little bit of tires, so you don't want to burn your stuff up too much trying to make it happen. But everything is pretty much single file for the most part. Josh Gaiman going to try to get 2nd position here. Emily Howe not keen to let that go.
Pressure on at the front of the field. Pressure on a little bit further down. Callie Height under pressure from Blake Henderson. We'll see both of them in action coming up here at Daytona and HTL in the next couple weeks.
Looks like Alfred George. Looks like Alfred George had a little bit of an off. He has towed the pit lane here, so see if he comes back out on the track. But right now, 14 cars still running at the moment on circuits. As we're watching a battle there, you can see Henderson and Snipes fighting for top 10 right now at the moment. Currently, that is P9. 9, 10, and 11 you're seeing right now on the track in your shot right there.
Jonathan Adams kind of sitting stationary, kind of sitting and watching and waiting, seeing when he can make a chance here at Henderson. The 88 taking on the 25.
And the inside line can prevail if you get the lunge and the right lunge, and there you can see the 88 was going to get the pass. We'll cut back up here. Something you can see right now, they're still pretty close. Emily Howe is not allowing Ryan, the drive away here, and Joshua Gaiman in turn is there as well. They're basically running almost identical laps here. Last time by, for respect, is a 36.98 for all three drivers. Like I said, identical. A little bit of a bobble there by Ryan. Christina Ryan could at least open the door if Emily Howe wants it, but looks like she will stay back at the moment and let this race come to her.
Top three stay nose to tail, and there's another pack of three with Hagen, Zero, and Acosta. Very close in tow as well. Very close still between the top six, all within 2 seconds of the race lead.
Yep. You got one pack, and then even worth noting as well, you can get another pack of three with Presley, Height, and Snipes. And Adams just lost a little bit of time there. You can see he's technically there, making about 4, and then you got the rest, 12, 13, 14, just kind of struggling here at the moment. Do got a pass here as Costa's going to make a move on the 89. Sent the move there. The 40 felt like she could get the run. A little bit of snap there. She'll still get the clear, though, so 40 will be up a spot. The 89 will drop down once, put Ruby up to 5th.
We'll see several of these drivers in the HTL Cup Series when it kicks off on Monday. Starts off with a charity event, again, New Smyrna, for the Junior Diabetes Research Fund. Green's Design making its first foray into HTL with a ride share between Acosta and Callie Height.
Ooh, Christina Ryan up the track a little, almost clips the wall there.
All three cars getting very spicy.
Yeah, I saw her drift up just a bit. Emily Howe kind of held it. I was wondering if she was going to make the move there, but instead, you can just see almost changing the gears of Christina Ryan. There's barely a wiggle room. One car makes a mistake, it may affect all three. Oh, look at Christina Ryan again, trying to get as much as she can out the corner, almost putting a paperclip between her and the wall. And Emily Howe just keeping that X to intimidate button locked here, just trying to keep it going. Meanwhile, this is having a battle for 4th. Is also brewing. Looks like Ruby Acosta is trying to make a move for 4th, but can't complete the job here as she gets a little loose off of 4. So just multiple things to cover here on this track.
Yeah, obviously a lot to cover, a lot to talk about. This is a wider track here, the Twin Motegi Speedway. This track's got an oval configuration and a road course configuration that can all be run independently of each other.
Yeah.
So you could technically have 2 races going on at the exact same time.
There's also a resort on the grounds of this track as well, with
Just
multiple things to do.
Just on the outside of the turn 3 and 4 we're at right now.
Camping, a Honda museum, a lot of things. Oh, battle for the leader. Christina Ryan just lost to Emily Howe. You can just see in the distance. Emily Howe's kind of waiting and praying, and she's going to get the move there.
Christina led the line, though.
Yep.
Really good battle here so far. Still a good battle. Christina Ryan not giving Emily Howe much room to spare as they come out of turn 2. Still a really good battle. Obviously, Gaming helping out his team out here a little bit with Ryan trying to hold on to that advantage. Emily Howe to the white line. Christina Ryan a little bit further up the track.
There's helping, but at some point, competitors are different competitors. You don't want to wreck your teammate, but at the same point, you gotta. It's not like Talladega Daytona. You can only help so much.
Howe takes the lead back across the line there. Henderson's race has come to a close, as has that of Alberts George. Austin Mongol comes down pit lane, yeah.
Just jumped to the pit lane, so but a bit of a tricky track for some here. Blake Henderson, obviously, most effective in that top 3, was at P10 at the moment in the standings. And a bad result here is not what the doctor ordered. Not even able to get to the full schedule distance here. Could take a hit in the points with his main rivals having good runs right now. Obviously, Josh Gaiman and Zaire in the 89.
And Henderson will probably drop down to at least 12th place here. Obviously, Zach McBride's still going. Zaire still going. Gaiman's in 3rd place at the moment. Henderson was entering this race in 10th place. Only person he'll really gain on it by any significance would be Toby Estes.
The only kind of saving grace is that the rest, like 14th on down, most of the drivers aren't here, or he is currently ahead of, like Alfred George. So not much risk here. There you can see again, as we're talking about that, second brewing here. Maybe Christina Ryan burned up a little bit of her stuff here, as she's going to fall down the third, as Joshua Gaiman's going to take second.
Emily Howe, Josh Gaiman, Christina Ryan. Currently sitting in the top 3, top 5, all pretty evenly spaced here after the first 17 laps.
And again, we know Emily Howe, tire whisperish. Out of the look at this top 6 right now, if you had a poll and you were like, who has the best chance of saving the tires the longest? Emily Howe probably is going to be the favorite to win that poll with how good she saves the tires at the least. So she knows, she kind of just sits and waits and lets the drivers burn up their stuff around her to try to keep up with the pace, and then she strikes while the kettle is hot. What she's doing right now. Battle for fourth here brewing, as John Hagan is going to have a run here on that number 80 machine. 80 kind of puts a little bit of a pinch on him, sends him down on the apron there. 2 wheels, 1 wheel did go down. Christina Ryan trying to put as much of a fight as she can to keep that 52 behind. And John Hagan a little bit not happy about it, obviously, because, you know, people putting the apron's not the safest thing in the world. But it looks like Hagan will finish this out here and will jump out the P4.
Hagan moves up to third, Ryan to fourth, and Ruby Acosta looking also just as quick so far, trying to make her way up into the top 4. Ruby Acosta's had an amazing stretch of races so far in this season. Acosta sits 4th place in the points. Didn't have a great race last week, unfortunately, 15th place at Talladega, but before that, it was 3 top 5 finishes in a row. 5th at Sonoma, 4th at Atlanta, 5th at Bristol. Giving her a chance there to really kind of fight for those positions at the upper edge of the top 12.
And there's Ruby Acosta. Like you said, it's come in great form here. It's found some great past couple races here. We're getting that 40th machine in some great spots here. Right now, going to try to make another top 5. Well, she's currently in the top 5, but get herself more comfortably in the top 5 here with getting around Christina Ryan here, which she'll successfully do a little bit of a aggressive clear there, but she'll get the job done. So put her up to 5th. 2 more cars have pulled off and have retired for the night. Austin Mongold and Ryan Pennell, they're both done. Ryan Pennell also in the top 12. Still, at the very least, 12 position, not horrible, but obviously was hoping for a bit more here. But back to the front here, Josh Gaiman feels like he has the chance here to take the lead. And that number 61 will have to kind of abort chances there to get the run. But at the very least, he is keeping up with that 83 right now.
Yeah, Josh Gaiman, interestingly enough, has not yet won in this season.
He's kind of followed the same mantra we've seen in the A-Square Cup Series, as he's kind of been in the checkers, a record situation. The bad luck bug kind of struck him here too, where most weeks he's either competitive or he is wrecking out and getting low finishes, hence why he was currently 12th in the points. We know that 61's fast. He just has to consistently put it in the top half of the field most nights and not either get involved in his own mistake or someone else's mistake. And you can just see with the run off, he gets the better run off here. And you can see if he really wanted to, could have put the bumper. But obviously, on lap 23, you're not going to do that. But he's just showing he's got the pace right now to get around. But he's just playing a bit of possum.
Jonathan Adams coming down pit lane here on lap number 24.
Yep. Looks like it is a scheduled stop. I don't see any damage on that machine. So he has hit the window he has come from with. So we may see other drivers electing the pole here. But it seems very early at the very least, because that would be multiple pit stops to get to the finish. 4 to be exact. Josh Gaiman, though, gonna have the chance here now. Gonna get the run off the straight, but not gonna complete it. Gonna drop back here.
Adams leaving pit lane now, so what's the scheduled stop? 15 seconds to stop there from Jonathan Adams. Yeah, maybe one of the situations where he knew there's going to be, because the way the pit windows typically work is that there's usually a short run at the end. So he may have just taken that short run early.
Maybe.
It's possible. Or either that, they know he's got plenty of tires left. It may be beneficial if he felt like his tires were going away. A lot of drivers, again, jumped in really late, Jonathan Adams being one of them. maybe was not prepared for the tire wear tonight. Jumping in, getting fresh at the tires may be beneficial to him in the long run, especially as he battles to potentially get back in the top 10, the likes of Zach McBride there at the very edge of the top 10.
Yep. Currently 11 key slots right now, and if he can keep the run going, he could easily jump up to that point, because right now, looking at the timing and scoring board, Zach McBride is currently halfway between 3 and 4, and the leaders are about to enter 3. So there's a good chance that we may be seeing Zach McBride pop on our screen shortly here, and in turn both be on the same lap, even though Adams is a lap down by pit stop rather than by actually on track. There in the back there, you can see Ruby Acosta trying to get 3rd position. And it looks like it's obviously, yeah, get that 40 machine on the podium spots right now. She has found some late run pace in this machine. We know back at Bristol, she was I think it was Bristol or Las Vegas, but she was very quick regardless in that machine.
Atlanta, I think, is the race you're talking about, because that's where she finished 4th.
Correct. Atlanta. She was very quick, and she took the early run to get the car up there and get the track position, but she never really lost it, so we know she can really get even though if she goes hard early, she can really bring those tires to the window with still life on them before they truly fall off. And she's showing it right now as she's kind of carved way up for the field a bit, fight through some traffic, some dirty air, and now she's got a chance to get that 40 on the podium, at least in the short term, maybe even the long term.
Still battling there for 3rd place. John Hagen doing a really good job defending that position so far. Josh Gaiman in the lead of this race.
Yep.
3rd different leader we've had so far. Christina Ryan led early on. Emily Howell obviously started on pole. Josh Gaiman, however, now his chance to shine in the sunlight as there's a spin on the front straightaway.
Zach McBride. And he kind of tore up that left front there. You can see some damage of the tire uprooting. So he hit that inside wall. One car, though, so no caution. But he's going to try to limp it around to get in the pit lane to fix that thing up. Because no fast pairs in the series. So whatever damage he does, he's got to fix.
Gaiman leads the way and has opened a half a second gap to Emily Howell so far. Gaiman looking really strong here at Twin Ring Motegi. Again, it's not a winner in a situation like what we see in HTL and in ARCs. You don't it's not just a win that you secured, but it would go a long way to helping Josh Gaiman put himself in a better position. And obviously sitting in 12th at the moment by like 22 points. Not a huge buffer right now.
Yep, give him a good cushion, and at the same time, when the chase does start and the reset does occur, everyone will be equaled out to the most part, so this win would help with momentum and maybe give him a few extra bonus points. So in that regard, it's a good thing to kind of get a win here at the very least, or another good finish, because it's good momentum. Playoffs are just around the corner, the chase is just around the corner, and you don't want to be in bad form entering the chase, where there's no resets per round. If you get a slow start the chase, you might as well kiss that championship goodbye. Oh, John Hagen got loose off a 4 there. You just see him almost hit the wall, similar to what happened to Zach McBride that caused his incident. Luckily, though, he keeps it straight, but that's going to allow Ruby Acosta a chance here to attack. But it looks like Acosta cannot attack there. So it looks like at the very least, Hagen survives the disaster.
31 laps into the night. We're going to step aside for 90 seconds to show you an advert from our partners over at HTL. Don't go anywhere. This is still the ABN Motegi 200, race 10 of the ABN AdminBoxx Cup Series.
I hear the train a-comin'. It's rollin' around the bend. And I ain't seen the sunshine. I don't know when. I'm looking for the present, and time keeps dragging on. But that train keeps a-rollin'. On down to San Antonio. On down to San Antonio. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy. Don't ever play with guns.
Obviously, a lot of stuff coming to the fold here. HTL Speed Weeks begins the 21st. Before that, the charity race at New Smyrna on Monday, the 14th, 8 p.m. If you want to tune into that and help support their efforts to support the Junior Diabetes Research Fund. Pit stops ongoing here at Twin Ring Motegi. You see the activity as drivers exiting pit lane. Philip Snipes led a lap here. Number 98 coming up pit lane now. Josh Gaiman came in first. Now has a 2.5 second gap over Jonathan Adams, who came in early. So Adams has moved up to the top 3.
Undercut is potent around here. We've seen it work multiple weeks. It can work as long as the caution doesn't come out. The only downside is, as we saw at Las Vegas, Atlanta, I should say, in that regard, is that the downside is it makes you very susceptible being caught late in a run. So Adam gets the track position right now at the moment, but the downside is with the tire wear situation, he's got about a 10 lap difference on tires, 11 laps, I should say, and you're going to see this advantage real quick as Emily Howe is going to get on around here and put the 88 down, at least third position at the moment. While that 88 is going to struggle, the cars around him are going to be hitting their prime in tire laps. Just for retrospect, if you look at the last lap alone, Jonathan Adams ran a 37.12, Josh Gaiman a 36.6, and most of the other field around him in the 36.6 bracket as well. He's already starting to kind of feel that tire wear, being about 5/10 off the main cars he is battling on track. Other than that, the lead went to Josh Gaiman. One more thing to note in the pit stop windows as well. Josh Gaiman had a 14.62 stop. In comparison, quickest out of the cars he was battling, 14.98 for Emily Howe, 14.6 by Christina Ryan, 15.5 for Jonathan Adams, and the rest of the drivers in a high 14.9, with Nicholas Presley's crew getting them out the fastest in a 14.47. As you see here, the battle for fourth, as they're also going to catch up on the third place car kind of quickly, as Christina Ryan's got that position locked down at the moment.
9 cars on the lead lap. John Hagan had a speeding penalty and went a lap down. I saw him kind of lock up there, came in really hot there at a turn 4. Figured he didn't get really down to speed in time, and that was the case.
Back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, very rough there for John Hagan to now be a lap down. Hoping for a little bit of a caution right now. First car 1 lap down, with Callie Height still a little bit ahead of Josh Gaiman as it sits. Callie Height will go a lap down here if things keep going as they are. Josh Gaiman holding a blistering pace so far. 2.8 ahead. Actually, no, 3.2 ahead. 3.02 ahead of Emily Howe right now. As the battle for third commences.
See right there, 88 just kind of gets as corrected right away there on the outside. 2 cars, one he gets a 2-for-1 loss there. Is now an impression of John Hagan. So again, undercut gets you the track position, but it's very hard to keep it unless things go your way, especially if it's a long green flag run.
Josh Gaiman and land on his own. See if we can kind of zoom out here a little bit, just kind of give you a perspective on just how far away Josh Gaiman is from the rest of the field. There's not really a good camera angle that you can kind of see it, but you can kind of see just how far away Emily Howe is. The gap's coming down, though. 2.7 now the gap. Emily Howe knowing that she has to push to try to get back to Josh Gaiman before the second pit window opens up about lap 60. Everyone looking at possibly doing, it looks like 4 stops are pretty well the regular right now with every 30 laps. So 60, 30, 60, 90, 120.
And then 130. You could maybe, again, stretch that if you can get an average of an extra. Because we saw 34 was the magic number. So 35, that average output 3.8. So in theory, you could stretch it to try to get 1 less stop here to finish. Obviously, Jonathan Adams would not be on that strategy at the moment. He would have to go the extra lap here. But the rest of the cars are on pace. If they can get it, they could probably go somewhere in the mid-60s, somewhere in the mid-90s, and then bring it home. So 2 stops to finish if they can really press the window far enough. If you can get to lap 100 before you hit your final pit stop, you're good to go to the end.
Josh Gaiman, Emily Howe, top 2. Gap is still about 2.7. Rubia Costa's gotten ahead of Christina Ryan. Back up to third place with John Hagan, who was in that top 5 battle, now sitting down in 10th place, a lap down from everyone that he was battling with before. Lilac Zero now in the top 5. A really good run for her so far, as she got ahead of Jonathan Adams as well. Adams will kind of sink here a little bit. But again, he's on a completely different strategy plan at this point in time. So we'll see how his strategy plays out compared to that of those around him.
Yeah, I feel like he's banking for a caution here. I feel like he needs something to get back on cycle, or at least when he undercuts, he can get some practice and then a caution. But obviously, different strokes for different folks. And with less cars, though, chance for caution goes down in that regard. Take a look at the track map here just to show you how cars are spliced out here. You can see as Josh Game is about to cross the line right now, you can see kind of the main class. He's actually putting the 66 a lap down of Kelly Height. But worth noting, you kind of see the spacing here. You can see a few cars on the backstretch. That is 2 cars in that position. But you can see Josh Game. And you can see the main cluster there, and that's for P3 to about P5 with John Hagen's lap down machine and the 80 in that throw as well. So just shows you it's not that big of a track, but cars can get quite spaced out quite quickly in this regard.
Sitting here, we are crossing lap 44 of 130 tonight. Very interesting how this race has sort of evolved here. 2 cars off the lead lap, John Hagen and Zach McBride. Yeah, well, really 3. Callie Height just went a lap down there. Soon she might end up being lapped by her teammate here. Callie Height sitting right now in the 9th position between Gaiman and Emily Howe. We'll see how quickly Emily Howe gets to her and if Callie Height puts up a fight here. You see a little bit of damage there on Callie Height's machine as she gets loose and saves it.
Yep.
You see she just lets Emily Howe go by. Callie Height's machine, you see a little bit of damage there on that right front fender. It's not quite even. Look further back, Christina Ryan trying to chase down Ruby Acosta. These 2 drivers very familiar with each other. They both were finalists for Screen to Speed in Las Vegas back in March. But before that, they used to race in Gran Turismo together a lot.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of drivers cut their teeth. Obviously, because iRacing obviously has become more populated as the years have gone by. A lot of these drivers cut their teeth in some different disciplines. Some came from most came from the console scene, but it should be more than they came from different disciplines. Some came from Gran Turismo side, some came from the Forza side, some may have came from the old NASCAR games, or even the F1 games, or some even came from the Dirt series from Codemasters, or another series that I've just not listed. So, because obviously,
there's so many different games. You have
I was gonna say
games like Grid. You have games like obviously Midnight Club.
Yeah,
so many different
Need for Speed.
Yeah.
I was thinking the series before Grid when it got its name changed. Toka. That's what I was thinking of. So yeah, a lot of different disciplines. Obviously, age and when growing up could obviously affect what they would have played on what systems. But yeah, a lot came from the console generation, and a lot cut their teeth in different series. As John Hagen is going to try to pass Christina Ryan here. Obviously, Hagen not on the lead lap. This is not for a position. Hagen just hoping to kind of, if something were to come out, try to be the first car 1 down, as his main competitor right now is that 66 machine, who is just up the road.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Christina Ryan actually added a championship to her repertoire over the weekend. On Saturday night, she won the OAP Supersport Series Championship at Homestead. Finished, I believe, 2nd in that race behind Zach Millett, but won her championship, her first of 2023 in that series. A lot of fun. We broadcast some of those races here on ABN. But a phenomenal series using the 2013 Chevrolet SS cars. It was a lot of fun watching her perform, and obviously a very thrilling race. Hopefully we get to do more of that here very soon for OAP. Very fun series, very fun group of people. Very much an all-star feel with all of the drivers in that competition. But Christina Ryan adding that to her accolades. Right now just kind of sitting steady. There's Callie Height, who is now under threat from John Hagen. And this is probably going to be pretty quick work.
Yeah.
Height's going to try to defend.
Yeah, she has the right. Obviously, again, caution comes out. She gets that lap back first. And obviously, well, the only other way to get your lap back would be the wave round. Even then, it's a bit hard depending on pit stops. So fight hard for what you can get because cautions may be few and far between if they even come out. But knowing that John Hagan had a bit more speed in that machine before the race start, it feels like it's going to be quick work. And that it is. Callie Height did put up a good fight there. Now just going to kind of hope things may fall her way to try to get back on this lead lap.
Yeah, that damage to her right side, definitely not friendly in this situation in the slightest.
No. Gonna make that car not be comfortable to turn. Should be worth noting is I'm looking at the timing and scoring, kind of seeing what's around here. Obviously, everyone kind of running their own races here. You can see a battle for 6 kind of brewing as Preston just got around Jonathan Adams. Adams falling down a little bit on the timing scoring because tires kind of hit their limits. But as I'm watching personal best in last laps, Emily Howe is slowly reeling in that 61. When the pit stop window occurred, it was a 2.5 second gap between the two of them, and now it's down to 1.68. And she's slowly just cutting a 10th down each lap. And she's just trying to get closer and closer for the final stage here to try to really bring the hammer of the 61. But right now, she's doing what she needs to do. As we still about to see how it all plays out. As Ruby Costa, obviously, still in P3, doing good in that number 40 machine. Got a good gap on Christina Ryan by about 2 seconds. And just keeping that 40 planted. Putting a Pontiac to spoil the 1, 2, 3 for the Japanese manufacturers at the moment, being the American spoiler for the Japanese suppliers.
Sitting in third has opened up a 1.5 second gap over Christina Ryan. Lilac Zier a little further behind there. There's Zier trying to get around Callie Height. Zier now sitting firmly in the top 5. 7 seconds clear of Nick Pressey. Front of the field, the battle's closed up a little bit more as Adams comes in. Second pit stop. I think he's committed to a 5-stop strategy at this point. He's taking an extra stop pretty much no matter what. This is consistent with the runs that he did before. On lap 53, he went 28 laps on this run.
Yeah.
Went 23 on his first run. But he's pretty well committed at this point to making an extra stop here. But I think comfort over distress is the strategy for him. Obviously, very much new to this series, and still sitting firmly in the top 10 as it sits, based on where Hagan and Height and McBride are currently at. Adams not in a bad situation at all. We'll see how that 88 plays out here amongst the top 11 still in this race.
Again, it's a good strategy. It works with the comfort, but the downside is he'll have to do more mileage to try to, well, not more mileage, but more, it has to go harder as the rest of the field has to take one last pit stop. So he's going to have to go a little bit strong to kind of make up that time differential. And the only downside is the rest of the field not doing that same strategy, and it looks like they can maybe make it on one less stop if they can stretch it out to those windows. So it's not the great, it's a fine call. Comfort, obviously, you don't want to wreck the machine. You don't want to be in a situation where you make a mistake on lap 15 and then end up wrecking the car. It's better to just get the experience, put the laps down. So comfort better than going for the risk if you don't feel comfortable. But yeah, it's just strategical. We'll see how it plays out, is how I'll finish that sentence on that regard. Looks like the gap between Gaiman and Howe has stabilized a bit. Actually, I was going to say it stabilized, to drop down just their 10th there, as they both are now have gotten around the 47. Well, Emily Howe's about to get around the 47. Zach McBride just got a loose there. But yeah, you can see the gap's now back up to 1.85. So it's going up and down, kind of stabilizing, kind of fluctuating a bit, but holding just under that 2-second window. But now Gaiman seems to have that long run pace in that 61.
Josh Gaiman looking pretty well unstoppable at the moment as we approach the midway phase of this race. Midway point being about lap 65. So about 10 laps away, coming to 9 laps away from that halfway point. And furthermore, we're about 5 laps away from the next window for pit lane opening here. For those that are still very much on the 4-stop strategy, there'll be people that will try to extend a little bit later, trying to get to maybe lap 65, maybe lap 70. If they can try to stretch it that far, but the pit window really kind of fully opens on lap 60 here in a few laps time. Josh Gaiman with a 1.9 second gap, really taking it to Emily Howe. Not very often we see this for someone in this series. Emily Howe's been pretty well dominant this season. 5 wins for her in this competition. really, it'd be hard pressed to find a race that Emily Howe has really been pulled away from in this situation. You think about the snafu at Las Vegas. She recovered to finish 4th there. Second at Sonoma, second at Talladega. But after winning 4 in a row, it is currently looking like a potential 3-race winless streak potentially for Emily Howe as things currently run so far. Again, a lot of time left in this race as we still have 7 laps to go to halfway. But Josh Gaiman now extending that gap. Now it's 2 seconds. So that gap now widening as Josh Gaiman has put his foot to the floor. And in boxing terminology, it's a battle between heavyweights right now. And Josh Gaiman landing a serious blow to the jaw of the championship leader.
Yeah, it should be worth noting 2 things. One, as we've seen, Josh Gaiman has found that late run pace in the end of the window. But B, we know Emily Howe, she's in all her wins, she's always used competing against someone in her win that regard. She either was fighting someone like John Hagan, Ruby Acosta, whoever. She was fighting someone in that win, and they were keeping her on her toes. She hasn't had as many runaways as you would think with how many wins she's had. She was fighting tooth and nail to the finish to ensure she gets that 83 into the victory circle. But I do wonder partially if she's playing a bit of possum here. Maybe not showing her full hand, just ensuring that she gets enough here to maybe insert, because we've seen her make slow inroads in the middle sections. So it makes me wonder, maybe she's keeping a bit of possum here, not showing the full deck here, just enough to kind of get the gap a little bit closer each stint. And then when the brights are the brightest, they turn that switch on. As we just hit lap 60 here, again, most cars pitted on lap 32, 33. So using those trends, we know next pit stop as window's about to open should just be at the halfway window, maybe a few 1 or 2 laps after said lap distance.
Few seconds the gap between the top 2 at the moment. Adams has fallen down behind Callie Height, made his pit stop there on lap 52, looking to make his way around the 66 now, and will do so. But it's very well spaced out at the moment. You can see the track map on your screen. Looking a little bit further down the order here is Hagan still ahead of Ryan and Acosta.
Again, kind of keeping the intervals again for 3, 4, 5 as well. With speaking of Ruby Acosta, Christine Ryan, and in 9 of Lilac Zaire. In that regard, is that they're all about 2 seconds between each other. So neither car is really pulling away or really gaining. As looking at their last laps respectively, Christine Ryan and Ruby Acosta both ran similar windows. Obviously, the 89 was a little bit slower with a 38.55, but on average, she was running around the same pace as the other 2 cars around her. And in turn, just can't really make that inroad because everyone's running similar laps. So this is where maybe an undercut could work in this element if the 89 wants to get a bit closer. Christine Ryan, maybe to Ruby Acosta, get a little bit closer, come 1 lap earlier, 1.5 laps earlier possibly, and you can maybe just get enough to really strike and maybe take away that podium spot.
It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out here. Philip Snipes attacking again on Nick Pressey. Look further back. This is in 6th place. Pressey in 6th. Snipes in 7th. Pit window is open, but no one has come in aside from Jonathan Adams, who came in on lap 52. So everyone's going to try to extend it here to about lap 70. If they can push that window down, they can make it on 3 stops instead of 4.
Mm-hmm. This Josh Gibbons is going to come here watching this battle here for that position in question. P7 and 6, so 6 and 7 fighting. Josh Gibbons going to come and start the halfway lap here. This race will be half over, but this battle's still raging on here as the debutante and the 94 of Pressey are fighting hard here to see who can get this spot. And that Tennessee car is not going to allow that 94 to drive away here. Ooh, Pressey gets a little loose and then blinks. And that is going to ensure that the Snipes will get around here. Ruby Acosta coming in. Josh Gaiman coming in as well. Pit stop window has opened here on 65. Emily Howe went longer one lap last time by, and she will continue that trend. So she'll go one extra lap here. Ruby Acosta in. Christina Ryan in. Now the question is, you don't want to speed like John Hagen did.
Yes.
Lilac Zaire will stay out. She will take second position at the moment and go another lap. Now the question is, will the 98 and 94 both stay out too? Pressy is coming in. Snipes will stay out. Obviously, Snipes went the longest last stint, so it makes sense that he would probably stay out, maybe lead another lap here. We'll see how it all shakes out. One advantage is obviously staying out, like Emily Howe, Lilac Zaire, and Philip Snipes, not Wesley, that's the actor, Philip Snipes. Staying out in that regard is the advantage is that you can get more comfortably into that fuel window, so the last pit stop happens, you can take a little bit less fuel if you need to. Car will be lighter. Howe still out. Lilac Zaire coming in. And she's really pushing this window here. She's going as far as she thinks she can take it. Obviously, she'll be affected by the undercut, and she'll lose a lot of time to Josh Gaiman here, but the advantage would be for the long term here. She will have the advantage when it comes to the last pit stop with a little bit of a lighter car, and maybe even getting more comfortably and possibly taking one less stop.
Emily Howe, and very importantly, Josh Gaiman did not go a lap down in that exchange.
Mm-hmm.
So stayed ahead of Emily Howe the entire time as far as like on track goes. Snipes stays out another lap as well. He went longest of anybody in this first stint. He'll do the same thing here in stint number 2 as he tries to make it maybe to lap 69 or 70. We'll see what he can do here. Again, he's taking long run here as a rookie, doing a really good job so far. Snipes takes the lead. Gaiman sets the fast lap of the race, 36.38 for Josh Gaiman.
Yep, speaking of that, he is coming in this time by. He's throwing it out on the comms. So pit stop window is now open for him. It's time for him to get his service. Josh Gaiman just set the fastest lap of the race last time by.
Yeah.
That 61 is on rails. And you just see how big of a gap that 61 got Emily Howe. It was about 2-second window when the last cycle stopped through here. Now it's about 6.36, about 6 seconds. So just staying that little bit longer in that 83 just cost her 4 seconds. But at the very least, she'll have at least a little bit fresher tires by the next window, but not by much. So we'll see if Emily Howe's really going to have to if she has any pace in that 83, she's really going to have to cut in the stage to get that a little bit more manageable for what presumably may be final pit stop of the race coming up next stop by, for at least some.
.5 the gap. Josh Gaiman, he's on fire right now.
Mm-hmm. Feels confident. Can't hate that confidence right now. Looking through here, we do got Adams. Kind of got close battle. I think we have on track at the moment is Adams and Zaire fighting for 5th. That gap is shrunk with under a second. But we're just kind of running the race here. You can see on the track map. Don't want to make a mistake. Don't want to really put a foot fender wrong here and lose a lot of time because, again, with so few cars, so few mistakes. It's actually Adams coming on in for a pit stop here. Definitely going for a lot more stops here. So he will pit, surrender 5th position. But to finish my point, you don't want to make a mistake. Don't want to put a foot wrong because at the end of the day, with slim chances of a caution, it'd be very hard to get that back, that lap, or even the time. The next challenge on Joshua Gaiman's bucket list right now will be getting around some lap cars here. Jonathan Adams actually just pulled it behind the wall. So that will give us 10 cars still running. So everyone's still running. We'll automatically be guaranteed top 10. But to finish my point on Joshua Gaiman, our race leader, he's going to catch some lap traffic here. He's going to have to navigate. And some of them are fighting for position. So It'd be quite interesting to see how quickly he can navigate them, and maybe they'll give Emily Howe a bit of time to catch up.
Josh Gaiman looking for his 11th win in ABN competition, his first in the ABN AdminBoxx Cup Series.
Mm-hmm.
So far, it's a 6-second gap that he's got pretty well safe and clear as he comes up on, that is the 47 of Zach McBride, teammates there for Stepping Stone Motorsports. How much of a threat does McBride pose? The
Not
answer to
much.
that is next to none.
Yeah. I don't think he wants to take one out. He's been struggling a little bit. We saw as he went that previous lap down. I don't think he wants to really cause any chance of an accident and end up in the steward's room here. Just wants to get some good points and ensure that car. As Philip Snipes just had a crash. He's jumped to the pit lane. So
Oh,
that's going to be another car in the moment in the pit lane. We'll see what happened here. It's going to be a little lonesome crash just where Zach Wright just was.
Oh, he just spins it and, ooh, hard impacted at the inside wall.
Yeah,
So
similar happened to
loose.
Zach. Yeah, similar happened to Zach McBride in his little incident. He had a laps to go. So we'll see if he can get it back out here.
That's unfortunate because he was sitting really well up there in the top 7. And now he's,
Currently 10th position. So he's still got top 10 if he comes back out because he cannot fall any lower. But we'll see if that damage, how fixable that car, and even if it is fixable, how will it feel?
yeah, that's the big question right there.
Yep. Next car he is going to catch is the 94 Nicholas Presley. And I believe the next car up is the 66 of Cali Height again. So one car trying to stay on the late lap, the other car trying to avoid going 2 down here, stand in front of the 61's way.
Again, Emily Howe gaining a little bit of time here. Zach McBride, or not Zach McBride, but Josh Gaiman does not have a lot to kind of pressure with right now. Very much just kind of taking it easy, trying to make it to the last stop of this race as things currently run. Right now, Josh Gaiman favored right now, 5.7 seconds. It's very well spread out here throughout the field. Emily Howe sitting in second place, kind of on her own. And then it's 7.5 to Ruby Acosta, who's still been dealing with John Hagan. John Hagan, the first car a lap down here. But her nearest competitor is Christina Ryan, who's 2.6 away. So Christina Ryan kind of just sitting steady as well. Lilac Zier looking for 48th, top 5 in ABN competition. Right now sitting in the top 5 in 5th. And then obviously Nick Presley, the last car on the lead lap at the moment as it currently sits. Coming up on Cali Heights, we're about to see a little bit of an interesting mingling of drivers in different situations here. It's been a very quiet and calm race compared to the chaos we saw a week ago at Talladega.
Ooh, I just went back because I heard John Hagan say, hang on to it. Ruby Acosta got very loose going back in the 2 about half a lap ago. She saved it. Good for her, but she was, even though we're not technically in Tokyo here in Japan, she was drifting at least through half that corner there. She saved it quite nicely, but he's going to call for a bit of time to Christina Ryan, and now it's going to have that Pennzoil machine in her mirror a little bit closer than she probably feels comfortable with. Speaking of the 40 there, she is. You can see on the time of scoring, that gap is now under 2 seconds here. 1.5 to be more exact. Christina Ryan can now kind of see the podium there, and we know they ran similar lap times, just respective last time by. Christina Ryan was a little bit faster, as obviously the cool tires need to cool down a bit for Ruby Acosta. But this is the first time in a little bit that Christina Ryan has really had a chance to kind of, I would say challenge, but is got kind of close-ish to that 40, and is looking to try to strike to get that Toyota back on the podium here. We've just hit lap 80 here. We expect the next pit stop window to be around lap 100, I would assume, is where most cars are going to want to stretch it to.
And looking at the trends, it's safe to assume they can at least get to 98, 99. So they should be able to get home on one more stop. But some will probably be able to get more comfortably there than others. But luckily, no green white checkers in this series. So you just have to make sure you have enough fuel to get to 130 and only 130. As Christina fights a little bit of a wobble there in that Pennzoil machine. It's going to cost her a little bit of time. Nice act time by there. Both running equal lap times, 37.36 for both. Fastest in the top 4 right now, actually top 5, is Emily Howe, 37.20 last time by, fall behind Josh Gaiman with a 37.27.
You'd assume there's about 18 laps to go in this stint. You'd imagine that it would kind of plateau a little bit. Emily Howe's still a little bit quicker, but there's still 5 seconds between the two, and Josh Gaiman has no reason to push at this point in time.
Nope, Emily Howe is the one in the attack mode she has to be right now. And she's got to be thinking that in the final stint here. She's got to try something to try to get a little bit closer here if she wants to have a chance to win this race. We know she has the pace. We know in the middle stint she's really been strong, but you'll see that as the stage kind of ends, the stint, I should say, ends here. Josh Gaiman is able to kind of pull away a little bit because obviously no real pressure, can save up more tire here and then let that flex. But even we saw the first stage, he was able to get those tires longer and more comfortably strong in comparison to Emily Howe. So Gaiman's just kind of waiting it out here. He's got that, I guess to use a box term like you said earlier, to kind of follow that analogy, looks like Josh Gaiman at the very least has the heavyweight rounds, or the title rounds, if you will, to stand before the title rounds, while Emily Howe seems to be a little bit struggling.
And keep in mind, Emily Howe does not need to be super anxious or pressed by this. Emily Howe was entering the night had a 450-point lead on the championship. And she'll still gain that on Christina Ryan, who's sitting fourth.
Nice.
So she is not by any means in danger or in threat. She is firmly... She's locked into the top 12 already. She's locked into the playoffs. She's locked into the chase, we could say. However, for Josh Gaiman, this has been a race of his career here in ABN to pull out the performance that he's done so far, holding a 5-second gap to Emily Howe. No small feat.
Yeah, it's going to be a good confidence booster for that 61 machine. Somebody can kind of say when the chase does come around that, hey, I clearly have the pace, at least at one track, to challenge the current dominant driver in the AdminBoxx Cup Series. I feel like if you went around, people would say she's been the strongest driver so far, Emily Howe. So it's good to know at the very least he'll have that kind of momentum saying, hey, if I can beat Bester here, not many drivers can say they've done that so far in this Cup Series, then I can maybe best her at other tracks. And in turn, really help when the chase comes around with that great reset for the chase points. So, but obviously, all talk, no bite. Josh Gaiman obviously has to finish the job here in order to ensure he can have that momentum boost. And as the laps get closer to the stage end, it's not stage, but the stint end here, laps ticking away. 83 is going to really test the might. Emily Howe's now gotten under 5 seconds, barely, but has cut into that deficit about, give or take, 1.5 seconds over the stint, but still not enough to even be within sniffing distance of where she was one stint ago.
Gaiman leads, Emily Howe sitting in second. Nick Pressey between the two, as the first car now one lap down. Ruby Acosta sitting in third. And it's Christina Ryan in fourth. Lilac Sear sitting in fifth. The last car currently on the lead lap. And again, it's been a clinic so far for Josh Gaiman. Toyota's 1 and 2, Pontiac in third.
And it should be worth noting as well, the race for the final spot of the podium is not over yet. Ruby still has that, looks like, lockdown at the moment. Christina Ryan has kept it honest, but she's going to need a good last stint here to really try to close up that gap to have a chance to get back on that podium for that number 80 machine. Ooh, Nick Spicer gets a little loose there in front of the 983. Looks like it will not amount to much, though, as the Emily Howe will get around here quite easily. So as the sit draws to the close, with assuming within the next 10 laps, you're going to see cars peel off. Do a quick little rundown of the race here. 16 cars enter this race. 15 cars took the green flag. Currently 10 cars are still running, with Jonathan Adams, Ryan Pinnell, Austin Mongold, Blake Henderson, Alfred George all pulling it behind the wall before the first 90 laps. And currently at the moment, out of those 10 cars, only 5 are on the lead lap, as Josh Gaiman has been the one that's put a majority of those cars at least one down. Josh Gaiman has led the most laps here, with Emily Howe second in tow and Christina Ryan third in tow in laps led. As your quick little equalizer race debriefing, as Josh Gaiman still is leading the way by 4.6, about to be maybe 4.5 over Emily Howe. And Emily Howe is cutting it in.
Yeah, it's been a phenomenal performance so far by Josh Gaiman. Emily Howe doing her best. She's closing in from 6 seconds to 4.5. However, pit stop's coming here in about the next, you'd reasonably say the next 9 laps, the next 8 laps, something like that.
Yeah, you probably want to get over 100 just to be safe. We know they can make about 32 laps, so 98 would be the safe window, but obviously closer to 100 the better, or even over 100. But the downside, obviously, go longer. Overcut could be potent, and for someone like Emily Howe and Christina Ryan, as they're on their own little battles, even like here in 5th. Going for the overcut may not be the smartest choice here when you need to make up some time. And that's the thing. Maybe Emily Howe will have to try a different strategy if she wants to challenge here. She may have to go for the undercut, but Josh, with all the previous stints, Emily Howe has gone longer than Josh Gaiman.
Yeah.
Emily Howe's gone I won't say the longest, but close to the longest, only getting bested by the 89 and the 89 and the 80-98, I should say, respectively. So Emily Howe likes going long, but I don't know if she's in the position where going long would be helpful and maybe be more detrimental to that 83. But who am I to doubt a currently 4-time race winner in the AdminBoxx Cup Series?
A 5-time race winner. She has been lights out. She won at Indianapolis, her first win in the series, and then added on race wins at Fontana, Kentucky, Bristol, and Atlanta. So she has been on fire this season. And again, about 6-7 laps until we start seeing just about everybody come in pit lane here. We expect close to lap 100, but I'd say 97 is a safe lap. 33 laps seems to be a pretty decent number that everyone can hit. So 97, I think, would be when pit lane really opens for those that are making it on one more stop. How close to 100 can you get, though? That is the question. And for Josh Gaiman, I don't think that question really needs to be even answered. He kind of can just do what he's been doing. If he puts on 97, he's still good to the end.
Yeah. Be correct.
On 95 of 130. Taking the time now while everyone's still here. We appreciate you spending your Wednesday evening with us here on ABN for the AdminBoxx Cup Series. Don't have anything planned for tomorrow, but we will be back Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, next Tuesday. So we'll have a lot of stuff going on these next 5 days, really the next 6 days. Twiggy Iris Series on Friday at Chicagoland. Road course racing Saturday and Sunday, with the ARCS Saturday Night Showdown Series at the Charlotte Roval, ABN Hyper GTP at Sonoma Sunday morning. Sunday evening, it is the ARCS A-Square Cup Series at Indianapolis Road Course, HTL's charity race for Season 4. Its support of the Junior Diabetes Research Fund is on Monday the 14th. And then the 4th round of the ABN International Sports Car Championship from Spa next Tuesday. Is all of our broadcasted events coming up here very soon in this next week of action. Josh Gaiman starting lap 97 here. pit window is officially open.
Correct.
Something I'm kind of keeping an eye on. John Hagen is now right behind. No, excuse me, that is not John Hagen. That was Philip Snipes that was right behind Henley Howe.
Yep.
Similar looking cars there as far as just how the design is oriented there, but Philip Snipes obviously several laps down, having that issue earlier in this race. 8 laps down, but still going. Sitting top 10 so far. Hoping for a little bit of misfortune in this final stanza of the race from the likes of McBride and Callie Height. But soldiering on the number 98 machine in his first start. Not an easy thing to do mentally. Just that mental aspect of being kind of on your own, knowing that there's not really a lot of competition around you at this point. But soldiering on, doing a phenomenal job here in the number 98 machine. As he sits behind the championship leader several laps down. Henley Howe still 3.9 behind Josh Gaiman, who is still leading this race.
Speaking of Josh Gaiman, pitting in, he will be doing this time by. He's made the 98. A little bit of loosey-goosey there. Don't want to make a mistake now. Gets it low down. Looks like he'll be okay. Henley Howe looks like she will stay out. She got to keep it something to note here. She got it down just under 4 seconds before Josh Gaiman made his pit stop. And again, 61 should be good to go to the end. Maybe has to save just a tiny bit, but he will be most likely good. Henley Howe will be a little bit stronger. Christina Ryan also came in that time by as well.
As did Callie Height.
Yep.
So 3 cars came in on 98. Now we're on lap 99. Does Henley Howe cover off the undercut?
I feel like she has to.
Will.
Yeah, because I feel like she has to, because it was, you saw when she stayed out those extra couple laps, it went to 4 seconds. She needs to minimize the damage. Oh, she gets it, Lucy, for there.
She locked it up, but she was good on the speed, it looks like. It looks like she dropped down to about 44.
Yeah, I was more thinking that she was more likely going to be out of control there and loop it before she ended up getting on the brakes, but she'll be okay. Hagen and Costa will come in at the same time. Both get it woe down successfully as well.
Does Zier come in? No, she'll stay out.
Yeah. So she will inherit the lead here, at least in the short term.
Not officially a race leader because Hal's already in her pit box, so Hal already crossed the start-finish line, but if Zier stays out an extra lap, then she'll get a lap lead and the points for that.
Or if she can get across the line before Josh Gaiman gets around.
Gaiman's catching up so quickly.
Yeah.
It'd be so hard to do.
Likelihood's small, but you never know. We'll see what the 89 does here in that Mountain Dew machine.
Christina Ryan trying to get around Callie Height, and then Ruby Acosta leading pit lane right now. Does Christina Ryan have a chance to close in on that 40? I don't think so.
It's going to be interesting. Obviously, Callie Height not going to play much favors here as her teammate is obviously coming out of the pit lane here. Going to help be a bit of a thorn in the side of the 80. And you can see she's close, but not close enough.
Zier stayed out an extra lap, so Zier officially has led a lap now.
Correct. She's now coming in this time by, so she will be making her final pit stop, and we definitely know she's good to go to the end, even though most of the field is now officially safe to do it. That will confirm that is most likely the final pit stop for the whole field. And in comes the 88. 99 will inherit the lead to Josh Gaiman, and looking at the line, the interval is going to be, I feel like about 5 seconds is what I will guess it's going to be about.
Looks like it is going to be 5.6.
Yeah, 5.5, 5.6. So now the question is, Henley Howe, with the remaining laps, is going to have to close that up. I've seen weird things happen, but the odds are not in the favor of the 83 at the moment if both cars keep running the same trajectory of what they've been running this whole race.
Yeah, right now, things are still running pretty well and smooth for Josh Gaiman. Henley Howe has a lot of work to do and not a lot of time to do it.
Yep. To her credit, she was cutting down, but obviously if Gaiman was saving tire or just making sure that car comfortably got to the window, we know he's going to be going a little bit more hard out if that 83 gets a little bit close. We know that 61's probably going to save a little bit of stuff. Well, the 83's got to be going flat from the drop of the flag. Speaking of, Josh Gaiman just got around Zaire, the 89, and that will now put her lap down in 5th position, leading 4 cars on the lead lap. This is what happens when you don't have any stage breaks or caution to speak of, and the race runs to a caution-free race so far, and this is what usually happens. It was a personal best last time by for both Emily Howe and Ruby Acosta. 63.43 and 63.46 for both drivers respectively.
The 25 laps to go. Josh Gaiman holds a 5.3 second lead. Then we have closing that gap in a little bit as she did on that last stint. But with 25 laps to go at the line there for the race leader, a lot of work still to do. Zach McBride in pit lane now, actually in pit lane, making his final stop. And we expect Philip Snipes will do the same thing here soon.
Yep, last pit runs. Yeah, last pit on 71, so yep, he will have last two drivers to pit. Sorry to see you further there, Carmen.
But Josh Gaiman now, the gap is closing more and more. Emily Howe down to 5.1. Last laps, we'll see what they look like here with 25 laps to go. Coming to 24 laps to go. This time by Gaiman across the line to start 24 to go. His last lap was a 37.05. How about Emily Howe? What does her lap time look like? 37.05 compared to 36.8 is the speed difference between the two cars at the moment. Howe having a little over, almost a quarter second difference in advantage compared to Josh Gaiman.
Got it under 5 seconds here. 4.9. She's gonna have to take bigger chunks if she wants to get there, but she is kind of cutting it down here.
Processing in the third position, 15.6 adrift of the championship leader at the moment. There's Acosta coming down the back straightaway. Christina Ryan out of turn 2 as well. Josh Gaiman, however, in the middle of turns 1 and 2 now, has gotten ahead of Zier to put the 0 lap down.
Yep. Ooh, Emily House just rode the apron there. It's going to cost her a bit of time there. All the interval she just made up has been lost in one mistake. Now back up to 5.5, where it was as soon as she all the pit stops cycled through. Zaire, though, could get around Gaiman here because Zaire is on bitted later than our race leader, but obviously tire wear not being enough differential that should really affect. Also worth noting, at the very least, it looks like 5 cars will stay a lap down, maybe possibly up to, I was going to say 4 cars beyond the lap, maybe 5, depending on if Zaire can get around, because it's highly unlikely Gaiman will catch Acosta and Ryan before race concludes. Speaking of Gaiman, he is currently going to come here to take 20 to go here. It feels like this race has just flown by.
And a caution-free event tonight. Philip Snipes in pit lane now. Just entered pit lane. 16 drivers started, 10 drivers still remain for these last 20 laps here at Motegi. Gaiman, Emily Howe, and Ruby Acosta top 3. Ruby Acosta will be her first podium in this series. Phenomenal night so far.
Yeah. That it has been.
Josh Gaiman still leading the way. You see Zier just behind. All right, I'm board here with Josh Gaiman here for just a second. That graphic a little bit incorrect now. We know that he's got 10 race wins here in ABN competition. Shows how much that this graphic's changed just in 4 months.
Yeah.
To go from 3 career wins to 10, looking at his 11th tonight. As things currently run.
Yep, if everything holds. Yeah, another little map update on the map there. Just to show you the gap between the two cars. Looks like Gaiman's next car he is going to catch there on the circuit is going to be Callie Height again in that 66. Looking to possibly put her 3 down. At the very least, 213 Simware is going to be quite happy with this performance the 61 has put down at the moment.
Absolutely.
That car has been a dominating force ever since the first pit stop window.
Been something else. Emily Howe sitting second place. Likewise, not going to get a 6th win in the season here. Not tonight, it looks like. Still nothing to be upset about here. Second place so far with 15 laps to go. Look a little bit further down. Ruby Acosta, 4th place, was her previous best finish in this series. That was back in Atlanta a few weeks ago. Right now sitting in the catbird seat, sitting in 3rd position so far, ahead of ABN's 2022 Open Wheel World Champion Christina Ryan, who sits behind teammate Zach McBride. I like Zier. Sitting with 5 career wins in the series. Or really 5 career wins in ABN in general. First car a lap down, and it's Nick Pressey with 2 career wins. John Hagan sits in the 7th position. His best finish is 2nd. He will not touch that tonight. We'll have to wait until Watkins, Glen, and Richmond the next couple weeks. Try to get back to that point or break through and get a first career win. A little bit further down, Callie Height finished out 6th at Atlanta. Will finish 8th here as things currently run at the moment. Got a full 2 laps on Zach McBride, who sits now in the 9th position. His best finish came at Kentucky. And Philip Snipes, the rookie, the debutant, actually getting around him here with 13 to go. The last car running here on track. Josh Gaiman's opened the gap up more. 6 seconds now, the gap over this driver right here, Emily Howe, sitting in 2nd place. 6 seconds the gap. Josh Gaiman has been electric tonight. Got a hold of the race lead and has not let go of it.
And it's very weird to find a driver that usually, it's hard to see it because usually when the race kind of twinkles down, but he's been, ever since, yeah, he's gotten better and better as these laps have gone by. So it's kind of poetic to see or interesting to see in that number 61. Even his virtual crew has been quite strong as well, making sure he's been getting nice, clean, quick pit stops. So he's going to hit 11 to go here. Emily Howe's now 6 seconds adrift, like you were alluding to, Carmen. And again, bearing any mistakes, Ruby Acosta presumably will have third place locked up as a 7-second gap between her and Christina Ryan.
With 11 laps to go here. Coming to 10 to go, Josh Gaiman doing a phenomenal job so far. Again, can't say enough about his performance tonight. It has been flawless in tonight's event. Zier holding on to him, though.
Yeah.
8-9 to Zier. Not letting go of that 61. Doing a really good job showing what pace was in that 89 car. Just really never had that clean space to really do anything with it. And obviously, strategy calls ended up putting that 89 car behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
Here tonight. A little bit of a battle here between Hagan and Pressy. This is for 6th place.
I mean, gotta give points to Hagan. After having that first speeding penalty of the night there, went way behind the 8 ball, just outside the top 10, is now crawled that machine back to 6th position.
Yeah.
Still one down, but he made good recovery of that early mistake.
He did a phenomenal job this evening. Just getting that car back to where he needed it to be. Phenomenal effort here by John Hagan in that 52 machine. As he comes out of forward, Pressy got a little bit loose there, trying to give chase, and that'll put an end to that pursuit. .4 the gap. Gaiman and Zier matching each other pace-wise. Zier 37.56, Gaiman 37.73, Emily Howe 37.89. So Howe, I think, has dropped back. I think has mostly just kind of stopped getting a pursuit into that with these last 8 laps to go, kind of just focusing on making sure that her car stays comfortable, knowing that she's got 16 seconds to Ruby Acosta there in 3rd place. Not really much defending she has to do at this point in time. And with no green white checkers here, if a caution comes out here with less than 5 to go, it's over.
Yeah.
So very easy to kind of look at it from that perspective and kind of just realize that you're fighting the time, the timing scoring clock, not the you're not really kind of making inroads here. 6.7 the gap now. It'd be easy to say take a 3rd, 2nd place in a row on top of your 5 race wins and move on to Watkins Glen in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and the thing is, if she makes a mistake, let's say ends up wrecking the car, has to tow, she's going to fall from 2nd to at the very least down to 7th, possibly even 9th, depending on how quick her crew can get her out there because of the remaining laps. So it's not worth trying to burn the tires off to kind of catch up the 7 seconds because, again, unless you gain at least a second a lap, and you still wouldn't make it with the remaining laps. So it's about risk assessment, and right now it's better just to say, all right, look, Gaiman got the better of me here tonight. I'm just going to move on and take my 2nd place and make sure I keep the car safe and make sure I'm starting to go next week.
And that's sort of the thing with Ally. She's still beating all the drivers that were near her in the points. She's still ahead of, obviously, Christina Ryan, John Hagan, Ruby Acosta. She's still ahead of all those drivers. It's still a very easy points haul for Emily Howe. She extends that gap just a little bit over the likes of Acosta, who she'll gain 5 points on, I believe, tonight. She'll gain 10 points on Christina Ryan tonight. So very easy stuff there with 5 laps to go. Definitely nothing to be dismissed about here this evening. But Josh Gaiman has been, again, electric tonight. He set the fast lap of the race at 36.38. That bonus point will help him out a ton. Lilac Zier sitting right now in the top 5 position. Still right now pursuing Josh Gaiman there. That's the 89 of Zier. Zier's pace has picked up dramatically in this time since. And obviously, if there was more time, you'd be really concerned about if Zier could really catch up to Christina Ryan with how much pace she's had right now behind Josh Gaiman, how much she's learned there behind the 61 of Gaiman as we come to 3 to go here next time across the start-finish line. Zier is 100% stepped it up here. Has been the fastest car on track the last 6 laps running. And that has not really stopped.
Yep. Looks like she's got a little bit of fall off there. A few going hard as she can, but obviously, she would need. Only way she would get up to Christina Ryan at the moment would either be more laps or a green white checkered, and neither look like they are on the cards because that is not how the series operates. But it's still a great drive. Even though she's one down, you can't snuff at a top 5. That is a great drive for that 89, a driver that was currently 13th in the point standings at the moment. And it's a good chance for her to get back in that top 12 and give herself at least a little bit of breathing room, hopefully, with the home stretch here at Walksland and Richmond after our 1 week off. So it's a good race to have in the back pocket just if things go south the next 2 weeks.
With 2 laps to go, it's Josh Gaiman leading the way. For those that have been with us all night long, we appreciate you spending your Wednesday evening with us here on ABN. I'm Carmen alongside me, Kevin Young. Josh Gaiman leads the way, 7.5 the gap to Emily Howell, the championship leader. Race 10 of the season after tonight, 2 weeks left in the regular season to determine the fight for the championship, the top 12 that'll go for it, the final 4 races of the season. Josh Gaiman. Out of turn 4, will take the white flag. 1 lap to go here at Motegi. He has been lights out, blistering pace the entire second half of this event. And he will not be denied. Traffic ahead, it will not matter. Coming out of the final corner for the last time. Make it 11 career wins in ABN. Josh Gaiman wins at Twin Ring Motegi. Emily Howell will come home and finish in second place. Ruby Acosta, when she crosses the line, will finish third. And Christina Ryan will finish 4th place, last car on the lead lap. 11 career wins for Josh Gaiman. His latest tonight coming at Twin Ring Motegi. Lilacs here, 48th career top 5.
Gaiman will be 100% proud of that one here.
A little bit of a...
Oh.
Almost a little bit too much of a celebratory bump there between Gaiman and McBride. McBride wanting to sort of just congratulate Gaiman on the moment.
Well,
here comes the burnouts.
Yep. Well, the thing is, if you end up wrecking the car, it automatically can pass inspection.
Gaiman burning it down the entire front straight away here at Twin Ring Motegi. Race winner here tonight. Been lights out, blistering pace. A great job there by the 61 team tonight. Race winner for the first time here in the series.
Mm-hmm. And even Hagen showed a little bit of love, too, to Josh Gaiman.
Phenomenal performance tonight by that 61 crew. It has been impressive, to say the least. We have interviews coming up with everyone in our top 5 here coming up shortly, at least with the podium interviewers. We'll see who else is interested in having an interview from that top 5, giving them a chance to sort of debrief with their teams for a second at the very end of this race. And then we'll also talk about the point situation, because the points, they have changed a little bit here going through all of this. We'll kind of walk you through how everything looks here tonight, here in just a second. And just giving it all a little bit of time here to all load up here. Josh Gaiman, the race winner tonight. We saw him do his celebration, his burnout. Just absolutely phenomenal job by him. Emily Howe second, Ruby Acosta third, Christina Ryan in the 4th position. As we kind of go over things here, again, don't go anywhere. Interviews coming up here. Hear from all of our top 5, or as much of our top 5 as possible here. But a good race tonight. Caution free. 11 lead changes between 5 different leaders. Overall, phenomenal effort here this evening. Emily Howe gained 13 points tonight over Christina Ryan. Nick Pressey stays in third place, but is now only 9 points ahead of Ruby Acosta. John Hagan stays fifth place in points. Gaiman, however, went from 12th to 6th in that exchange. We'll hear from our top four. We'll start with Christina Ryan, fourth place finisher here tonight. A great job by her. Christina, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
What an exhausting race. Straight up all the way from start to finish. Green Flag Racing, fourth place tonight here at a track that you're very familiar with. How was that race feeling for you? And obviously, how difficult was it trying to go through that tire saving strategy?
It was fun. I didn't quite have a whole lot of pace overall, but I had a really, really good start. They got a little checked up on the initial start, and I found a hole and filled it and got up to P2. So my best shot was to just go for it at the start. I'm pretty much, I don't know if I'm locked into points or not, but nothing really matters right now for the next couple weeks. I'm pretty safe. So wanted to go out, lead some laps, make it fun. These fans wait all year for us to come here, so might as well put on a show for them. And yeah, no, I'm pretty happy. I just couldn't really save tire. I burned more tire when I started to save tire. So had a fun battle with M and with Josh, and had a really fun battle with Ruby. It was a lot like old times. So yeah, happy that it went caution free. This track always puts on a great show. So really stoked about all that. But yeah.
Yeah, you talk about the point situation. You are locked in now mathematically. It didn't seem like it was ever going to be in doubt, but with a maximum of 400 points on offer, you've got more than 400 points to 12th place. You are mathematically in. Watkins Glen and Richmond, the next two races coming up. Obviously, a very much needed week off on the racing side of things. How important is that week off before we get into two more really physical races on the calendar?
I don't know. I mean, for me, you know, being high enough up in points to where it doesn't matter, and I'll be honest, having a championship under my belt already in ABN already helps, but having won the OAP championship too, I kind of like, well, it's a lot more just for fun now. The pressure is kind of off to try and do something spectacular, so I'm just biding my time, just having fun with it, and we'll see if we got something for Emily and Gaiman and them once we get to the championship. But yeah, I don't know. All the stress is gone. So yeah.
Well, obviously, a really good night tonight. Fourth place in points, locked into the chase for the cup. Second place in points, with two races remaining. A very easy month of August coming up there, racing-wise, knowing that that's already in the bag. Before I let you go and let you kind of unwind and relax here after an amazing night here at Motegi, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours, Christina. Congratulations on a top 5, and obviously we'll be seeing you there on Monday for HTL's charity race.
Yeah, well, thank you to you two, obviously, for broadcasting. It was fun to listen to on the way through. Congrats to Josh. He's been having a hell of a year. It seems like no matter what he's in, he keeps getting into a lot of bad luck situations, and good to see him go out and have a dominant performance and get one like that. So stoked for him, stoked for the team. I'm not stoked for James's wallet, but he's paying my bills, so that works for me. So I mean, obviously shout out to everybody over at Stepping Stone and Dubby, and big fan. We love you, Davin. And yeah, all that good stuff. Obviously Pennzoil and Screen to Speed and all that's coming up in a couple days. So we got that going on, and like you said, we got HCL coming up too, so that'll be entertaining. But yeah, obviously thanks to everybody who cheers for me every week, and glad we get a decent finish, nice little race. And obviously shout out to Rubes and Emily and Josh. It was a lot of fun racing today.
Absolutely, Christina. Enjoy it. Top 4 tonight, 4th place, locked to the playoffs. The chase for the cup here. We'll see the number 80 in it. Congratulations, Christina, and we'll see you very soon.
Thank you.
That was Christina Ryan, our 4th place finisher. We'll talk to Lilac Zero, 5th place finisher, who joined the interview queue a little bit later there. We'll hear what she had to say. 5th place, first car 1 lap down here tonight. Lilac, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Alrighty. A very interesting race tonight. Ended up first car a lap down, but the pace you showed once you got passed by Josh Gaiman, you were the fastest car every lap after that point. Walk through sort of how difficult this race was and what clicked as soon as you got passed by Josh Gaiman. What sort of clicked and got that pace for you?
Well, at that point, I was just trying to stay clean. I was trying to keep it at 0x. And, you know, points are so important at this time of the season. I don't know why I'm doing this accent. Points are important at this time of the season. You know what? I'm going to keep doing it. Points are so important at this time of the season. I just wanted to have a clean race, and in that first run, I could not keep up with the top 5. I was close, but I was just a little off, and I was just trying to save fuel and go to the end without an extra stop, and everyone else had the same idea. But once we got down to the second run, I'm thinking I got to stay out longer than Emily to get a bonus point, because I'm not going to get a lead lap bonus point if she keeps staying out longer than me. So I had to save extra fuel in that third run. That probably cost me time and made me go a lap down. But then I was so much newer on tires at the last run there, I could hang in there with Josh. I just figured I'd ride behind him unless he really slowed down, but I wasn't going to wreck him or nothing to get back on the lead lap, because that don't pay no extra points. So I just wanted them extra points and try to get a top 5, and we did that today here with our Mountain Dew live wire Baja Blast duct tape together motor Speedway machine.
Obviously, points, you talk about how important they are. Every point matters. Right now, you are in 12th place, the very edge of the chase for the cup cutoff. You got ahead of Caitlin Height there tonight, who did not show up to tonight's race. With 2 races left at Watkins Glen and Richmond, how do you feel going into those, that you can kind of use those races to solidify your chance to battle for this championship coming up?
Well, I don't want to take anything for granted, and, you know, my computer could blow up next week or something, but I'm going to assume that everyone will be here the next 2 weeks and they could get back ahead of me, so I got to try to gain points on all the other drivers too. And Watkins Glen's going to be fun. I like that track, but the last time I raced there, I wrecked the dang thing and blew my motor up, so I'm not going to try to take anything for granted. I was going to try to have a safe, steady race, bring it to the finish, and get what we get.
Well, it was a great run tonight here at Motegi. A top 5 finish, another top 5 for you here tonight, and then a very needed little bit of a break here before we enter those last 2 races of the regular season. Before I let you go and kind of let you unwind and relax and get ready for the weekend ahead, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, Lilac, the floor is yours. Congratulations on another top 5 finish. Obviously, a lot of racing was seeing you on Friday and Saturday night with Twiggy in the ARC's Truck Series.
Well, shout out to my friends. Y'all are amazing. My family. Shout out to my haters. You know who you are, and I'm coming for you.
Well, again, congratulations, Lilac. 5th place tonight here at Twin Rim Motegi. A lot of quick laps there at the very end, showing what the 89 pace could show here tonight. Congratulations on it. We'll be seeing you Friday night in Chicagoland.
Thank you.
That was Lilac Zier, 5th place finisher tonight. And now we get to talk to some drivers that have a little bit more to celebrate. We'll start with 3rd place, Ruby Acosta, first podium in the series. 3rd place tonight, a phenomenal performance by the number 40 for Queen's Design, a podium for the Pontiac. Ruby, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Congratulations, a first career podium in this series, 3rd place at Twin Ring Motegi. First off, how you feeling with that first podium? Obviously locked now into the chase for the cup here over the next couple of weeks with Watkins Glen and Richmond. Now a little bit less stressful for you, but walk through first career podium here at Twin Ring Motegi. How does it feel?
Yeah, honestly, this is not a oval that I'm very familiar with, to be honest. So it was just a lot of learning as I went, and I feel like that really messed me up coming into the first few, sort of run into the race. I had to make up a lot of positions from 7th, and then once I caught up to, I believe it was the top 3, top 4. I just lost a lot of time, and then I think I lost more time overshooting the pit box on my first stop. But then after that, I just kind of found a rhythm. I was battling with John Hagan, and and Chrissy all race, and it ended up pretty fine. And it was pretty taxing for me physically, since I had to really not move the wheel, but it was just sort of like I just kind of have a driving style where I just cannot save tire. I just push all the time, and really, I think I didn't really I feel like I was able to overcome that, and yeah, I mean, top 3, that feels really great. I did not expect it because there's such really good drivers, but I guess I just, everything just fell into place today.
Honestly, tonight was a really good night. Obviously, we talked about, road courses coming up. Watkins Glen in 2 weeks. You finished top 5 at Sonoma, the only other road course on the calendar. How looking forward to Watkins Glen are you to try to continue, obviously, this momentum going into the chase? And obviously, how confident do you feel as far as just how competitive you're going to be at Watkins Glen there in a couple weeks?
I mean, Watkins Glen is going to be a track that's a little less, well, I want to say a track that's going to be a little more geared towards mostly the oval drivers or the usual, the usual oval drivers, since it's not as sort of technical as Sonoma. But, I've done the 6 hours at the Glen with Queen Design as well, so I have that knowledge already. And, I am used, like I said, like before, I am coming from a sports car racing background, so this will probably be a bit more to my strength as well, and I'm hoping to at least get a top 5 again, if not maybe one of these races challenge for the win, and Watkins Glen might be a track I might be able to do that with.
Well, you did a phenomenal job tonight here, top 3 here at Twin Ring Motegi, your first podium in the series. A phenomenal result, a very taxing race, just physically not having any cautions to really kind of slow up and relax here, having to constantly be on it. But it worked out for you here tonight. Queen's Design's first podium in this Cup Series comes your way here at Motegi. Before I let you go and kind of let you unwind and relax here on a Wednesday evening, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congratulations, your first career podium in this series. Well earned, well fought.
I think I want to shout out to my sponsor, Whalenet Designs. Whalenet Designs has been supporting us for, I believe, nearly a year. I don't know, but yeah, they've been supporting us, and they've been really amazing, giving us support, and it was enabling us to help get funding for to coach our drivers. And I'd like to thank Enor for letting us have this opportunity to represent the team here. I like to thank Callie for racing today. I know she didn't have the best of races so far today, but she did her best. And I want to shout out to Racing Heart Universe as well, and June, and basically that's pretty much it. And thank you for having me, and yeah, I can't wait for Watkins Glen.
Absolutely. Again, congratulations on your 3rd place tonight. Enjoy the week off before we get to Watkins Glen. Obviously, much needed a 1 week break here coming up next week. But again, congratulations on the top 3, Ruby. Well earned, well fought. And we'll be seeing you very shortly in New York.
Thank you so much. See you.
That was Ruby Acosta, 3rd place finisher here tonight at Tsukuba, Twin Ring Motegi. Wrong Japanese track on my mind. Have a lot of testing going on here for a lot of things around ABN. But Twin Ring Motegi, Ruby Acosta finishing 3rd. Her first podium of the season comes here in Japan. Next up is the championship leader. 2nd place here tonight. 2nd place in a row. Emily Howe, after 5 race wins, doing a great job here. We'll hear from her, hear how her race went tonight, and what she could have possibly done any better to try to catch up with Josh Gaiman. Emily, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Hello.
Obviously, 3 second places in a row, keeping a hold of that podium streak here tonight. But it's very rare to see someone pull like Josh Gaiman did tonight. First of all, just how did your race go? And obviously, what was missing tonight as far as that pace? What was Josh Gaiman on? Do you have any idea?
He just had, a little bit better pace that first run. I think he did a better job kind of sitting back behind me and Christina and saving his stuff a little bit. And so I guess my strategy was to go and just kind of do the classic pit 1 lap later and go from there, but it really didn't work out at this track. And so I just tried to commit to that, and it just never really worked out. So I could match his pace within a couple tenths, it would ebb and flow, but once I got behind, it was just really too even to really claw it back with the strategy because it really didn't pay off in the end. So another solid race to the team though. Extend the points lead out. Feeling pretty safe coming into the chase here. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, well locked in here to that round of 12. Was locked in going into the night. Even more so now with 2 races left, only 400 points, I think, maximum on offer when these next 2 races. Obviously, the pace you had tonight was good. Obviously, Josh Gaiman was just on a completely different level. We'll see if we can pick his brain to see what he did so unique tonight. But the next 2 races going to be a fun way to end off the regular season. Watkins Glen and Richmond ending out the regular season. How are you feeling going into those 2 races to try to get back into your winning race? Again, you set the longest record for wins in a row, 4 wins in a row here earlier this season. Do we see that begin to come back here this next 2 races with how those races typically perform? And obviously, we know your strengths, in this series so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think Watkins Glen's going to be really interesting just because, as we saw in Sonoma, that was a really fun race and had a lot of good pace there. Winslow just got back from Sonoma this week, and I had a lot of good pace there, finished 3rd. So hopefully should be another good week. And then Richmond is just going to be, short track racing, so anything can go there.
Obviously, a really good job tonight here at Motegi. A very quiet race for you, not very eventful there. I believe you still led, I think Gaiman led the most laps tonight, but you were very close up there here this evening. Going into the week break, before we let you go and kind of let you kind of relax and obviously get ready for our Saturday Screen to Speeds, the 3rd event for the Summer Cup. If there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Again, another phenomenal podium tonight, 2nd place on top of 5 wins, another 2nd place finish tonight.
Yeah, just want to give another shout out to Prismatic Motorsports, everyone back there who makes this possible, all of our sponsors, everyone who puts us on, ABN for hosting this, and AdminBoxx for sponsoring the series, and all of the sponsors in our car. I still need to get that list together. Certifiably diverse, Kadon Computers, Go for the Gap. Who else we got? All the sponsors, all of them.
Obviously, a phenomenal job here this evening, Emily. Always fun seeing the 83 car on track. An amazing battle, especially early on between you, Christina, and Josh there at the beginning of the race. Enjoy the week off. Obviously, we'll see you on Saturday for Screen to Speed over on Internet Esports, but enjoy it, and hopefully we get to see even more success in the 83 car.
Yeah, thank you. See you in 2 weeks.
That was Emily Howell's 2nd place finisher tonight. A quiet race, but a very efficient race. She extends her points gap to 463 points tonight over Christina Ryan. Absolutely untouchable this season, even in races like this where it seems like she's not, the fastest car on track. She's still outpointing everybody here. We got one person to talk to, and that is Josh Gaiman, the race winner tonight. First time in this season, and now 11-time race winner here in the ABN AdminBoxx Cup Series. Josh, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. Get a copy.
I got you.
What a drive. Race winner tonight. And you made it look pretty easy here. 97 laps led of 130. Walk through, what was the magic key tonight to getting that race win?
Yeah, definitely just I had a good race pace. I didn't start my runs too quick or anything. Found a braking point that was comfortable. And pretty much just stuck with that and really worried about like my pit stop and exits because it's, dead flat on the apron. So the entry of, the pits is, it's pretty steep. So you can't really hit it too hard. And I kind of did on that last pit stop, but straightened it up pretty quick. But yeah, it was just getting in and out of the pits fast. And I know I can do that. It's definitely something that I've excelled in a lot of different cars. But yeah, just that race pace that I had was either matching Emily, and then towards the end, they kind of backed it off a little bit, I guess, there at the end, because 6 seconds in like 6 laps probably wasn't really gonna happen.
Obviously, a really good race for you tonight, and a very critical race for you. Just in this race alone, you jumped from 12th to 6th in the standings with 2 races left at Watkins Glen and Richmond. how are you feeling? Obviously, finally getting a little bit of clean air to just drive the car and not have to worry about being in traffic and being stuck and dealing with bad luck there. How important was this race as far as getting you back on track with those 2 races coming up next?
Yeah, that was definitely something good, being able to start up front and not have a bad qualifying or anything, and just get out in clean air. That first stint there, I kind of just took my time and watched the 2 ahead of me to maybe see if I could pick something up, and found a little bit of a better entry into 3 just from following Emily for a little bit there, and then I guess their tires kind of started to go away maybe a little bit, and they washed up in 3, and I was able to get that run. But yeah, and after that, I had an idea of how to run it, and that definitely, was nice to get out in clean air and just figure it out for myself, pretty much.
Obviously, it worked out tonight, and you're going to be a very busy driver here coming up. Obviously, you'll be active on Saturday for the ARC's Saturday Night Showdown Series of the Charlotte Roval. You get to do some road course racing this weekend, A-Square Cup Series at Indy Road, and then the HTL Cup Series kicks back up with the charity race on Monday. A lot of action. We get to see that number 61 machine in tonight. But before we let you go and let you obviously get ready for the big weekend ahead, if there's anyone you want to shout out and say thank you to, Josh, the floor is yours. Congratulations. Again, first win in the series, 11th career win in ABN. That puts you 3rd overall in race wins so far in ABN competition.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'll be at Ignition as well. I'm not 100% on that, to be honest. But yeah, definitely going to be busy. Yeah, obviously, as always, shout out everyone at Stepping Stone. We've kind of really been putting things into high gear this week. Took like 2 or 3 days to completely overhaul the entire Discord. Got the entire team set up with Garage 61 for some telemetry so that we could watch what everyone's doing and just help them. That way we don't have to sit there and have a 2-hour conversation. And we could, go and watch somebody's, lap times and how they're falling off and stuff, or look at what they're doing wrong and just have more information. So that's a pretty neat tool as far as being able to help people out. Shout out to 213 Simware, Motegi Setup Shop, W Energy, code JG61 at checkout for 10% off all products. And you putting on these broadcasts and the series, it's been a lot of fun as much as I haven't had a lot of luck. That kind of turned around tonight.
Absolutely, you did a phenomenal job tonight. Again, first win of the season here at Twinery Motegi with 2 races coming up, and you're going to be very busy, not only on ABN screens, but off of it. Enjoy the race win. Enjoy everything coming up ahead. Obviously, we hope to see you in victory lane even more this weekend tonight. Tonight, race winner here at Twinery Motegi. Josh, enjoy it, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you. Have a good night.
That was Josh Gaiman, race winner this evening. The full results coming up on your screen. Josh Gaiman, the race winner tonight, ahead of Emily Howe and Ruby Acosta. First career podium for her for Queen's Design. Christina Ryan finished 4th place, Lilac Zero finished top 5. Finished John Hagan, Nick Presti, Callie Height, Zach McBride, and Philip Snipes on his debut, rounding out the top 10. Jonathan Adams retiring from this race. You look at everyone 11th to 16th retirements in this race. Adams, Ryan Pinnell, Austin Mongold, Blake Henderson, and Arvis George all retiring from this race. Toby Estes starting and parking there early on as well. Points as they run. Emily Howe becomes the first driver to break the 2,000 point marker. 2,005 points to be exact for Emily Howe. Christina Ryan in 2nd place. Nick Presti in 3rd. Ruby Acosta in 4th place in points there. Really good job for both of them. John Hagan in 5th place. Josh Gaiman from 12th to 6th. Then you have Toby Estes, Ryan Pinnell, Callie Height, Zach McBride in 10th, Blake Henderson in 11th, and Lilacs here currently in the playoff, really in the chase for the cup zone, ahead of Caitlin Height in 13th, the first driver looking on the outside, trying to get in. We've said it over and over and over here. We're going to be busy. No activity tonight, or no activity tomorrow night on Thursday evening. Champ Car is off. Friday, we're back for the Twiki iRacing Series. It'll be me and Callie Height in the booth for that at Chicagoland. I'll be in the booth Saturday evening for the ARC Saturday Night Showdown Series, the Charlotte Roval, the 2nd race of their 6th season. in the ARCS A-Square Cup Series at Indianapolis Road Course. It's going to be a fun weekend ahead. Again, on Monday, the HTL Cup Series kicking off its 4th season with a charity race benefiting the Junior Diabetes Research Fund. On Monday, the 14th, 8 p.m., we go live for that. It'll be me and Christina Ryan in the booth there. But until then, on behalf of everyone here for ABN, for AdminBoxx, for all of our partners in the ABN AdminBoxx Cup Series, we thank you all so much for spending your time with us. We'll be rating AMR Chrissy here in just a minute, but thank you all so much. We'll be seeing you around on Friday at Chicagoland. Until next time, on behalf of myself and my co-commentator Kevin Young, stay safe, stay healthy, have some fun in the week ahead. We'll see you on Friday at Chicagoland. Good night, everybody.